Whether you believe in hell or not, these places I'm about to tell you about are creepy. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Emily, and today we're counting down our list of the top 10 real people who claim to have found the gates of hell. Number 10. St. Patrick's Purgatory, Ireland. According to old Irish tales, St. Patrick visited the island and Jesus appeared to him. The Lord showed him horrifying visions of Satan's lair and pin-dropped a location to a cave that served as the entrance to Purgatory. Soon after, a monastery was built to plug the narrow descending hole into hell. The cave itself has been sealed ever since October 25th, 1632. And according to the accounts of pilgrims prior to that date, it takes the form of an enclosed pit reached at the end of a long, narrow, and slowly descending cave. Experts have suggested that even before the believed arrival of St. Patrick, the cave may have been used as a site for prayer and spiritual healing. Now, whether it's Hell's Gate or a sweet spiritual place, I'm not going anywhere near there. Number 9. Hekla, Iceland. Hekla can be found in the southern mountains of Iceland. It's a fiery pit of lava that has long been associated with the fiery pit of Christian tradition. In the Middle Ages, Caesarean monks traveled far and wide across Europe, carrying tales of Hekla Fell. In 1180, the monk Herbert de Clairvaux named the volcano in his book Liber de Miraclis. The monk Benedict named Hekla as the eternal prison of Judas in his poem about the voyages of St. Brandon from 1120. And later, in 1341, the medieval Icelandic manuscript Flately Book Annual described large birds that were reportedly seen flying inside the fiery crater. These were believed to be the souls of the damned. Now, there have been more than 20 serious eruptions recorded since 874 AD, although in recent years, Hekla has been somewhat more peaceful. Most superstitions regarding the volcano died out by the 19th century, but local folklore still tells of witches who gather around the volcano's peak each Easter, so they were there recently. Number 8. Fengdu City of Ghosts, China. This hellgate can be found in the heart of China's city of ghosts, with close ties to Nakara, the underworld of Chinese mythology. Visitors to Fengdu are treated to a rare glimpse into the workings of hell. This 2,000-year-old settlement is located on Ming Hill. Founded during the Han Dynasty, 200 BC to 220 AD, the Fengdu City of Ghosts bases its heritage on the story of two renegade officials who fled here to escape the emperor. Their names, Yin and Wang, were later adapted to form the title of one of the rulers of hell, King Young Wang Qian. Fengdu is also famous for its striking traditional architecture and elaborate craftsmanship. Its streets and squares are filled with statues of ghosts and demons, as well as reminders of the punishments that await the wicked in the next life. Most of the city's landmarks are linked to hellish names, ghost torturing paths, Nothing to Be Done Bridge, and Last Glance at Home Tower. Number 7. Cave of the Sibyl, Italy. In his classic work, The Unneeded, Virgil describes a cave with 100 entrances that led deep beneath the earth and as far as the underworld itself. He wrote, "The gates of hell are open night and day, smooth the descent, and easy is the way." He wrote this masterpiece in the 1st century BC, and it tells the story of the Trojan hero Aeneas. It was in this cave, a Greek settlement close to modern-day Naples, that Aeneas encountered the Sibyl. The Sibyl was an oracle, a fortune teller, and priestess whose sung prophecies echoed endlessly around the hollow caverns. At the age of 700, she served as a guide to Aeneas as he descended through the caves to hell below. Explorers in the Middle Ages searched in vain for Virgil's Antro della Sibilla. It wasn't until 1932, however, that an archaeologist finally discovered this well-documented entrance to the underworld. It's now possible for tourists to visit the Cave of Sibyl for themselves and to experience those haunting echoes described so many years ago by the poet Virgil, as many voices issue and the sound of Sibyl's words as many times rebound. Number 6. Lua O Milu, USA. According to ancient Hawaiian folklore, YPO is the access point to Lua O Milu, or the land of the dead. As the story goes, the souls of the deceased leap from the tall sea cliffs to enter an underworld ruled by the death god Milu. A man living in the area stated that about 30 or more years ago, he actually saw this ghostly company. He was walking up this road in the evening when he saw at a distance the ghosts appear, and knowing that should they encounter him, his death would be inevitable, so he discreetly hid himself behind a tree and, trembling with fear, gazed in silence at the dread spectacle. As for the precise location of this hellgate, you won't find it on Google Maps, as the portal is now allegedly hidden by black sand. And no, this is not me telling you to go find it for yourself, but if you do find it, send me some pictures. Number 5. The Paris Catacombs, France. I mean, this place is made out of bones. What do you expect? It's no shock that there's a portal to hell here. In the 18th century, amidst a public health crisis relating to the city's cemeteries, authorities decided to relocate the cemetery's remains to an abandoned quarry. This effort created the meticulously arranged Paris Catacombs, lined with bones that hold the remains of more than 6 million people. As one visits the catacombs, a sign above reads, "Arrête, c'est ici l'empire de la mort," aka "Stop, this is the empire of death." It's also called Barrière d'Enfer, aka the Gate of Hell. It can't get any more specific than that. There are 200 miles of catacombs, which are regarded by many to be the portal to hell. These were originally underground mines, which were filled with the exhumed bodies systematically over decades. And let me just say, I've seen the movie As Above, So Below, and I do not want to go there. Number 4. The Gates of Guinea, USA. According to voodoo mythology, the newly dead are sent to a kind of purgatory before traveling to meet their ancestors in the deep waters. Known as Guinea, this realm is presided over by the notorious Io who goes by the name of Baron Samedi. And souls of the lost land are also considered to be a high risk from hoodoo magicians who have the power to reanimate them as zombies. Yeah, zombies. While some followers of voodoo interpret the 7 gates as a spiritual metaphor, others believe them to exist in the physical realm. One of these stories locates the gates in New Orleans. To enter Guinea, it is said that one must open the 7 gates in the correct order. Each successive gate is presided over by the one of Lua of Death, who must be appeased with the appropriate offerings. Although the exact locations of the gates have never been disclosed, there have been suggestions over the years that the clue may lie in the Vev, or summoning the sigil of Baron Samedi himself. Appearing as a crucifix surmounted by 7 stars, the symbol might be a map of some kind and once aligned over the crossroads of Canal Street and Bazin Street in the city's French Quarter, as the stars of the Vev seem to fall on notable surrounding cemeteries. Number 3. Pluto's Gate, Turkey. According to storytellers, Turkey has an opening to Greco-Roman hell called Pluto's Gate. Toxic mists waft out from the pit, which sent priests into hallucinations and caused some to die. Now, Pluto's Gate was written off as a fable until it was unexpectedly discovered in 2013. An archaeological dig revealed the remains of the ancient temple situated on a thermal spring, long believed to have been a gateway to hell. This well-documented temple of Pluto disappeared from records sometimes around the 6th century. Now, writing at some time around the year 0 AD, the Greek philosopher Strabo claimed that any animal that passed inside meets its instant death. And that's true, because it has fumes spewing from the thermal springs deep below, and these carbon dioxide vapors can kill birds and other small animals that get too close to the satanic temple. Number 2. Darvaza Gas Crater, Turkmenistan. This place literally looks like the gate to hell. It's a 230 wide pit with glowing red flames, and it's surrounded by miles of sand. And you're telling me that's not the entrance to hell? You're crazy. You're crazy. This fiery hole is Darvaza, a gas crater that has been in conflagration since 1971. Researchers remain puzzled by how the deep crater turned into an inferno, and how the crater formed and ignited remains unknown. Did Satan drill a hole in the desert to give us a glimpse of hell down below? Who knows, but I don't want to be the one to find out. And coming in at number 1 is Houska Castle, Czech Republic. The Houska Castle is located in the forest north of Prague and is one of the most haunted places in the world. According to the legend, on this exact spot, there was a huge hole in the ground that was considered to be the gateway to hell. Paranormal activities were disturbing the region, and the Bohemians thought they could solve the problems if they covered the hole, which honestly sounds like a good idea. That's why they built the castle. Now, no one actually wanted to build this castle and get close to the portal, so they used prisoners to help. Hundreds of prisoners were forced to get into the pit to build the foundation for the castle. However, when they were taken out of the hole, they all looked like old men. The first prisoner lasted only a few seconds before he began screaming. When he was pulled back up, the story goes his hair had turned white and it seemed he'd aged 30 years, and he babbled incoherently about half-human creatures who flapped through the darkness of grotesque wings. Today, witnesses report several different forms of paranormal activities, and some even claim that the site contains remains of demonic beasts who escaped the pit. So not only was there a pit, but demonic beasts escaped from it. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 real people who claim to have found the gates to hell. Would you want to visit any of these places? Personally, I wouldn't, but let us know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, why not give this video a like and subscribe? I'm your host Emily, and I'll see you next time. Peace.